Today I would like to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is how to define a strategy. Actually, strategy in general is really important to me. So we talk about it. I want to give you some very practical tips to creating a strategy. Let's define it first. It's just a course of action that takes you towards success. It's in broad strokes, the things that you are going to do and that you are not going to do to be successful. And you may have already caught on, it implies that there is a clear definition of success. So that is the order of operations. I define, what success looks like, then I define how I'm going to do it. That's the way we do it. Before I get in my car, I define the destination where I would like to arrive, and then I can come up with a strategy, by the way, even a roadmap for how I get there. Anyway, let's start with this idea of defining success. I use a model where there are goals and objectives. Goals are general, objectives are time-bound and measurable. And to get started, this is where people get stuck. Think about a few key categories. As a product manager, you are accountable for defining your product strategy. Your leadership should be defining strategy at the organizational level, and your job is to align these things. By the way, you don't do it by yourself. You should do it in consultation with your key stakeholders, including sales, engineering, marketing, all these folks that help make your product successful. So here's some categories to think of. Almost every product is going to have some financial goals, revenue, margin, whatever it is. So that's a great place to start. You're also going to want to define some goals and objectives around user acquisition and retention. How are we going to build the pipeline? How will we measure success there? What conversion rate do we expect? What churn rate is acceptable? Those kinds of things. All kinds of things you can define there. One that people overlook that I think is absolutely critical is differentiation. How are we going to demonstrate that we're building a differentiated product? That's really important. If your product isn't differentiated, by definition, it's a commodity and you get to compete on price. Ugh. Gives me a full body shiver. By the way, another category you can think of, you can also think of it as part of differentiation, is innovation. Set the bar around innovation. How will you measure that you are innovating? We throw that term around, execs especially. They call anything new innovation. That's not what innovation is. You can set some goals there. What I would recommend doing is think about those categories. Start by defining 3 goals, like we want to increase revenue. Then set some objectives to support that goal. How can you increase revenue? We can increase sales. We can lower our prices. Maybe that will increase revenue. There are a bunch of different things we can do. And by the way, there we see 2 alternatives. So your strategy should tell me what you plan to do to achieve success, and it should also at least imply the things you're not going to do. So, let's not overthink this. Strategy is a course of action that leads to success. You need to define success first. That's the first step. And I would recommend thinking about these categories. Start small. It will grow over time just naturally. Set a couple of financial goals. Set a couple of acquisition and retention goals. Maybe set a differentiation goal. Socialize those with your stakeholders, get alignment on those, and in the next step we're going to talk about really how to define the strategy itself. Hope this was helpful.